Okay, guys, we're live. Welcome back. This is our next Brent Knox the podcast. I hope we have a good time. I'm going to go over some of the things that we're going to talk about today, that I'm going to talk about today. I'm happy to have you guys join me. Happy Wednesday. Feliz miércoles. Hope you guys are having a good day or night. It's nighttime now. I'm here in the West Coast. I live near Los Angeles, so I'm in Pacific time. Just wanted to shout out to everyone who had a good Wednesday, worked hard today, and is probably pretty tired at the end of the day, a lot like me. Today I didn't do any gel in my hair, and I didn't touch up my shaving, so I apologize. I'm a little like sandpaper, you might say, but don't have to be perfect, I guess. But today we're going to talk about in the podcast a little story called the cop and wife problems. It's a little story that happened to me a couple nights ago, which is when I didn't do the podcast. I think it was Tuesday. Yeah, Tuesday. Yeah, that's like last night. I'm going to talk about religion. Kind of going to summarize what happened to me in my life, and that also. And then we're going to go into gold prospecting. I have some surprises for you. They're sitting next to me and behind me, and I'll show you. That's the last segment of the show. We're going to talk about what I've been doing. I'm going to talk about what I've been doing with gold prospecting, what my future plans are, some success and failures. And so that should be an interesting segment. So first thing, I want to tell you what happened a couple nights ago. Basically, was driving back from on the freeway, and I live in Southern California. So these are California rules and laws and highway laws I'm talking about, freeway laws. And I had no idea, but the double solid white line, you drive on the freeway and you're going to get in the carpool lane, and it used to be these solid yellow lines, like two solid yellow lines. And everyone knows when you were taught in driver's instruction, you never cross two double solid yellow lines. So it's always really scary to get in that carpool lane when you're not supposed to. It's like you have to look really close, make sure there's no motorcycles. But basically they changed those yellows to white. So they're double solid white lines now. And, I thought in my twisted trying to get away with everything mind, I thought, well, that must mean that you could just kind of go in there if you need to, but just be really careful because they're not yellow, they're white, but they're solid. So I looked it up. Basically, double solid white lines is basically you are not allowed to cross them. Of course, there are some circumstances where you can cross them. That's emergency, where someone cuts you off and the only way to avoid an accident is to get in that other lane and then try to make your way back, and then of course tell the cop the story and see if he buys it. And so the big question is, what is the fine? So what if the cop pulls you over for going over those double solid? Because I looked it up, and it is, you are not supposed to cross that. The answer, you want to guess? You guess? $234. That's at least what I was told online. But of course, when it comes down to it, you probably pay quite a bit more because inflation, of course, the government's going to tell you, inflation, we're going to charge you more. But basically, I was getting on the freeway. I got over and got into that lane. I said, it's clear. And I didn't see any cars, no motorcycles. So I just got over in that lane. Next thing you know, a car came behind me and put on a spotlight, like a real bright spotlight. And I looked back, I said, I think that's a cop. You can't really tell because the spotlight's on you, but it's coming from the side. I'm like, I think only cops are either allowed to have those spotlights. I don't know the rule on that one, but this is a cop, shine the light. Of course, what does the wife do? She's like, who is that? And she thought someone was high-beaming me and, tailgating and being a jackass, basically. And what does she do? You guessed it, gives them the finger. So this is another, there it goes, right? The finger goes up and I'm looking, I'm like, oh my gosh, what did you just do? That's a cop behind us. And I said, I think it's okay because I think it's legal what I did. So the next thing I hear, the light goes off, which you think about it, that is a hazard. I mean, what am I doing? I just changed lanes. I didn't cause any problems. I didn't even get close to hitting anybody. But what does a police officer do? Puts a spotlight on your car. Is that dangerous? I think so. But what does a cop do? Don't do that. He gets on his loudspeaker. Of course, I think they still have these little CD push button radio looking things. They go, Don't do that. That's what he says. Okay. So I just keep driving like normal. I'm not going to give him the thumbs up. I'm not going to do nothing. I'm just going to drive and see what happens. Because, the thumbs up might be a bad thing as well. So I'm not doing it. So what happened? Nothing. Thank goodness. All my license, registration, everything was in order. I just fixed my little cracked windshield. There was nothing he could pull me over for besides making that lane change. And of course, I'm going to give you a little hint. Of course, we're going to have a separate segment of how to get out of traffic tickets. Because I've gotten out of 3 just in the past few years. But I did it all one way. And it was just basically, don't go to court. You just call in the court that morning, say, I can't make it. I got COVID symptoms. And by law, they cannot take you into the court. And they're going to have to reschedule you. Well, I did that a couple times on my tickets. And guess what? They said the judge has decided to throw your case out. So that's pretty much how it works. The cop's not going to show up, and then if you do show up, the cop's not going to show up anyway. So anyway, that's a whole different story. That's how I used to fight them in the past. So there's my wifey problems story. That's the first part of the podcast today. Another thing I wanted to talk about, I kind of wanted to summarize and kind of come full circle what happened with me in the Mormon church. And, I love the people that are in the Mormon church. There's a lot of them are still my friends. Chat with them on Facebook. I've seen them in person, hung out, we've had lunch together. I have so many friends that are in the Mormon church. So, this is not disrespectful to them or anything they do. I think everybody is just going to get to heaven if they do the right thing. So, please just, take this the right way. But basically, I was thinking a lot and if I get this affirmation that the Book of Mormon is true, yet, somehow, how do I say, well, then I'm not supposed to go back to church? Like the church isn't true, but, how does this make sense? Because my whole life I've been taught you only get to heaven, the highest level of heaven, if you stay Mormon, you pay your tithing, you go to the temple, you do all these rituals, basically things that they want you to do, get married in the temple, seal to your family, all that kind of stuff. It's the only way that your family can stay together. And, something about that just didn't seem right anymore because I prayed about it a lot. I prayed and I said, what am I supposed to do now? Like not ever go to church? How can I get close to God? How am I, supposed to do this? So, and the answer started to come to me. It's like, don't worry about it. Just keep doing what you're doing. Pray about what you do and live your life every day. And so that's what I did. But the more I prayed and the more I kind of looked into it, I saw what happened to the Mormon church. And, it's really what happens to basically pretty much any religion, it seems like, in this world. But basically, Joseph Smith was shown these plates that were hidden. He found them. He translated them with the help of God, basically. And because this account wanted to come, he wanted it to come to the people so they can read it and decide for themselves. But then what happened was after those were translated, people like Brigham Young, there was other people that got involved with the church and Joseph Smith that were Masons. They were Freemasons. And the Masons had learned all these different things about temples. And that's where all the idea of pay your tithing, go to the temple, do these rituals, multiple wives. That's where all this doctrine came from, where these people that were former Masons, Freemasons. And so the more I thought about it and the more I prayed about it, I realized that's how they structured the church. They wanted the church so that they wanted to create a structure, and that's what they did. And at the end of the day, through my prayer and everything, God, it's just a fact. All of us have the chance to be close with God. All of us have the chance to go to the highest level of heaven if we want to. The question is, are we going to put ourselves in our own private hell? And our own private hell is regret, sorrow, anger, fear, and they're all connected. And so I think, at the end of the day, I truly believe, and I'm willing to die on this, that I have access to Jesus. I have access to God. I have access to the highest level of heaven, just like you, just like anyone. if I want to be with my family, my friends, anyone I want to be with, as long as I'm good with God, I'm fine with them too. Those are all his creations. And it's basically, how it works is that's why Jesus came. That's why he got rid of all those rituals, the sacrificing of the animals and all those kinds of things. So I don't necessarily want to preach. I just want to kind of to share with you what my experience was, so you can kind of understand where I'm coming from and what my perspective is. And my perspective is always going to be, as long as you go to a religion that teaches love and it's making you love your fellow man and not turning you away the minute they say hate the sin but not the sinner, and they give you little secrets of what to hate, you don't hate any of it. Then if you're taught love, then keep going. And I'm going to support you, and I'm going to say that's good for you because it's healthy. So that's my religion speech. So the last thing I want to tell you about was gold prospecting. I wanted to give everyone a little update. I had been watching. So let me kind of back up. So I had been watching the show. You guys have seen the Gold Rush show and the Gold Rush Whitewater Gold Rush, where they're doing excavating of the land and basically sluicing all the pay dirt and looking for gold. And then there's also Whitewater, where they're dredging, whereas you go down with a vacuum, a hose underneath the water and just suck up all the gold, hopefully, but look for gold that way and then put it through a sluice. And those are very interesting. And I was just intrigued, and I was learning something every day. And one thing I did like about gold prospecting is that the government can't tax it. I mean, unless you have a business and you have to report how much you brought in. But if you're an individual, it's very, very, very difficult, if not impossible, for the government to tax you. So that's another thing I liked about it. Plus, it's exciting. You never know what you're going to find. Find gold stuck in quartz. You can find $1 million nuggets. There's a lot of ways that you can make money, and you're only reliant on yourself, your knowledge, and a little bit of luck. So the first thing I did is I want to show you what I got first. Is I said, I want to try this as a hobby, and I do it like a risk, like I have to earn it type of thing, where as long as I make enough money and I do what I need to do, and I can get my little present. So I did it, and I got like $800 budget to go and to try some gold mining. And the first thing that I did was I wanted to try sluicing, where I could just go into a river or a stream and shovel right in and just put it right through a sluice box and put some dark sand, some black sand in there, and see what comes out. See if I can find some little gold flakes. And I want to kind of show you, it's going to be a little bit cramped back here, but I'm going to show you my sluice box that I purchased. I will show you how it works, so that you can kind of get the basics. I bought it from a company called Keen Engineering, and if you guys are interested, you can private message me. I will give you one of the owners. His name is Mark Keen. He's a friend of mine. He helped me out, and I'll give you his phone number. You can look at their website and everything that they sell, and they sell all kinds of really neat stuff for mining. So, but right now I'm going to show you. So the first phase of what I did. I'm going to have to get up, and hopefully this whole thing doesn't fall down. But the first phase of what I did is, it's my mom's quilt. She made this for me, so it's her birthday yesterday. Anyways, so make sure my shirt doesn't fly out. Look, so this is, and I'm gonna hold it I'm gonna hold it like this, but you see the whole thing there, go all the way to the roof. So this is my sluice box. I didn't put the legs on it, but there's legs that go on each side, so they're adjustable legs. You can adjust the height. You basically take this, like this, and you put it right in the river, the stream. And on this side, so the way it goes is the dirt. So you look for black sand, it's flat like that, and it lays right here. The river, the water, as long as you get the right flow, you want about it's like a 5-degree incline, and you get a good water flow, it will go through these riffles. And of course, you could take this whole thing apart and do a complete washout and look for whatever gold you have. I found so much, it was like so much black sand, and there was gold dust. and I have a bit of gold dust, but it's so fine. So what I'm really looking for is those kind of the bigger gold pieces, of course. But let me show you what I found. So I went sluicing out, and I'm going to tell you where because I don't really care. I think there's gold everywhere. But a place called Whitewater, which is just past Morongo on the way to Palm Springs. And it's nice because it was warm. I couldn't go up to the mountains. They had those fires up there. But I went up there. I have some videos I posted of what I did. And I just put a lot of dirt. So I was looking for black sand, and I just started shoveling and put that in there. And then also when I ran into rocks, what I would do, so let me show you my process real quick. I would take the rocks, and I got a couple gold pans. I'm going to show you some neat stuff. So this is a shaker box. I'm going to tilt it. Dang, there's sand in it. Oh well. So this is a shaker box. So you take your rocks, you put it in the shaker box. This goes on top of a bucket. And you can just shake it up and down, side to side. I learned just put the whole thing underwater if you can. I would make a nice pool and a dam and just put it all underwater and shake it all out. Take the rocks and chuck them. Anything that's left in the bucket, you dump it down the put it down the dredge. I'm sorry, down the sluice box. And then when you're done, after you've been doing that a while, you do it for I did it for 2.5 days. One day I had a major storm that stormed me out, unbelievable, but of course I'm unpredictable weather back there. But and then what you do is you clean it all. You do what's called a clean out. Take everything out, put it in a bucket, clean it out, and then you had to pan it. So basically you throw all the black sand in the pan. You can see some black sand. I still have on the bottom here some shiny black sand. You guys can see that over here. So let me show you what I found so far. And I would say it's success because I did find something, but it's not a lot of success. I would like to have at least, maybe $5,000 worth of gold so far. But no, I'm going to dump it out here onto the gold. I'm going to use the small gold pan. You can probably see it better. It's darker. So what had happened is these are rocks that refused to leave. And I know there's either gold or some silver inside of them. And I'm going to put it over here, which you guys can see. But I'm going to show you the one gold. It's a little bigger than a flake, and it's not a nugget, but I'll call it a, you look in there really close, you could probably see it. It's like a gold shard. I'm going to call it a shard. So let's see if I can find that little thing. I'm going to shine my light on there. There's my little gold shard. And I am going to put that, where's my little clear bottle? Oh shoot, I didn't have the vial ready. I think it's over here. Yeah? Easier to just put it in the vial, if I have one. Sorry about that, guys. So it's right here. And what I'm going to do is shine the light on it so you guys can see it. It's a tiny little gold shard, but I'm happy. I'm excited about it. So here we go. There's I'm super proud of. Let's see if I can get that on the camera. Man, this is all new to me. I got to find a way to get this. Okay, let's stand up. I can see it. Oh no, my shard fell away. Just kidding. It's in here somewhere. There it is. So let's put it on top. And you can see a little video where I found it. I actually took a video on one of my live videos, the videos I posted. So, yay, metal, gold, there it went. It's really hard to see it. I got to get where's my clear vial? Oh my gosh, I thought I could just show it, but it doesn't work like that. So, I'm going to put it on my finger, dang it. Look. All right, now it fell on my keyboard. Boy, I'm having all kinds of problems. My gold chart, there it is. Okay. Oh, that's gold chart number 2. Gold chart number 1 is right here on my keyboard. Good thing it's big enough it doesn't fall in the cracks. Oh my gosh, I'm typing I a million times. Man, that's it. This calls for some tweezers. All right, you got to be prepared. Of course, I was an Eagle Scout. I am an Eagle Scout. I always try to be prepared. My friends will laugh at me because sometimes I'll go camping and I'll forget something like a first aid kit, and that's just not excusable. So I'm going to do it like this. And I'm going to put it up to the camera. There's the camera. Let's see if you guys can see that. See, there's my gold piece. Yay! And I'm going to put the light on it. Maybe it'll shine for you. Yay, gold piece. Here comes the wife to help me out. She always knows when I'm floundering a little. So, my little gold shard. Yay, that's only 2.5 days. Of course, if you want of dredging, a lot of work. I mean, sorry, sluicing. I get those two names mixed up, but it is sluicing. Dredging is when you use a vacuum. I covered that already. Anyways, so let's put that back in the thing so I'll lose it. I got another one too. I'll show you. Another little gold. So I got 2 gold flakes, I got a gold chunk, a gold shard, and a gold flake. It's actually technically 3 pieces of gold, and then some other pieces which I know have something in them. But I have a solution for that. So, you know, after doing all this, all this sluicing. So, basically, after I was doing all this sluicing, where I'm just shoveling, you fix this one, man? This one. There you go. So I was just shoveling tons of black sand and anything like rocks and all that dirt, you know, from here into the box. And what did I come up with? That's it. So that's a lot of work for not a lot of payout. So I said, you know, what I need to do is go to the source of the gold. And in where I was in California, there is gold. You can look for, there's quartz in the side of the mountain. So I climbed up into the mountains a little bit and I looked for these striations, these like lines of quartz. And I looked for the biggest part to see if I could actually go with the hammer and kind of beat my way into there. Was looking for anything gold colored that was inside the quartz. I was looking for black sand. I found some black sand, but did not find any gold inside. I found other mines, so people had mined up there. It looks like they didn't go very far, so I'm assuming maybe they were not successful. So I said, you know, this isn't going to work. So the next thing I decided to do is get a drone. So I said, you know, if I had a good drone, I could fly up, fly around, have it take pictures, video, and then I could use those pictures to see where the actual gold was. I could look for that gold color that I'm looking for, that specific gold color, not pyrite, not gold, but gold, which is it's a different color. And so what I did first, I said, you know, if I'm going to do this, I'm going to get a little practice drone because I've never flown a drone before. And I got a little tiny dinky drone. Maybe it was like super cheap, but I think it's like a $60, $70 drone, but I got it cheap because, you know, I'm cheap. And flew it around in a few days. And the third day, there was a little bit of wind. And that thing, it just kept going and going. And I pushed the land button. I said, come back. I was trying anything I could to get it to, and it would not respond. And it just took off. And it ended up on the top of a tree. It just went, boop, perched itself on the top of the tree. And after that, I said, you know, what if I had a $2,000 drone? Like, in order for me to fly around in those windy canyons and get those pictures, I'm going to have a nice drone. Do I really want to be into do I really want to be in the drone business? Like, do I really want to be putting that at risk, you know, having a drone? And I said, you know what? I think what my plan is going to be is to get the money. And for the next part of my hobby is to get a professional to take the video and the pictures and make me my treasure map. Because it's just going to take too long. It's too much risk for me to do it that way. So, for now, what I'm doing is I have been going on some hikes and looking for actual gold. And I have watched videos of some of these prospectors that are actually using their gold detectors now. So there's metal detectors that can detect not only iron ore, but now gold. And it goes like this. It goes wee, but it goes really high when it's gold. So when it's iron, it's like wee, but gold like wee. He goes, and you can tell it's gold. And I've been watching the videos and how it works. And I've been walking, to be honest, I hate to say that because I'm always honest, but to tell you what I've been doing is hiking around the hills, local hills. And I'm finding quartz. I'm finding things that look like if I had a little gold detector, I could find gold in these mountains. So I'm going to test that theory. And I think if I find some pretty cool little treasures, maybe looking for some artifacts, some old coins, stuff like that. I mean, even around in old Pomona, there is tons of stuff to be found that's under the ground. And that's my next hobby. And that's what I'm going to be doing, is using the detector and then hopefully getting the money to get myself those images done with the drone so I could basically look and create a treasure map. And when that happens, I will show you what I find. And as things go, I will be reporting. I will do a mining report. I will show you what I found. I don't care who knows. I don't care, whatever. It's just, here's where it is, and there's what I found. Because it's everywhere. I do believe that gold is everywhere, Northern and Southern California, because I just see all the signs of it. Quartz, shiny rock, white rock, stuff like this. Let me show you. So the other thing too, I wanted to let you know is, there's huge tons of, these quartz, which is the white marble looking rock, but it's shinier, and the next thing I'm also going to be doing is, because when you do the gold detecting, you actually have to have something that crushes the rock down. So take something like this and it'll crush the rock. And I'll show you when I get those pieces, I'll show you how they work and how I'm using them and if they're effective. So that's pretty much it as far as what I'm doing on the gold prospecting side. It is my hobby. It's not my business. So it's something I'm just doing. And anything you guys, any ideas you have, any suggestions, feel free to instant message me or post it here. Anything about gold mining, anything you find fascinating, I can discuss some of those things, or anything you want to tell me about. I'm interested. Again, Keen Engineering is the name of the company that I'm using for all this equipment. You could get some of these complete solutions, including the sluice box, for like under $500 for all the pieces. It's pretty reasonable, and this stuff is it's rugged. It's not going to break. It's fun. Bring your kids out. Bring your family out and try it. People do it up at Lido Creek. They do it all the different creeks. And try your luck. And if you find something, send a picture. I'd love to have you as a guest and talk about what you find. So, because I'm all about prospecting. I love prospecting. So there's a couple. The one thing I wanted to mention too, I want to give you a cool little hint of one thing that I did. So from time to time, I want to give you an idea, and this is an idea. So for Thanksgiving, remember, a lot of times, not to be sexist, but the women or someone does a lot of the cooking. And I think whoever does the majority of the cooking should get a prize. And that prize, I believe, and I've done this before, is the next day after Thanksgiving, you come with a menu. So I have my menu. It's horrible and it looks like garbage, but I'm going to show you my menu. Oh, it's under this paper. Sorry for whoever's on live on this one. We'll get you back in the action in 2 seconds. Sorry, that was right on. That anchor was right where I needed to be. So there we go. Okay. So I wanted to show you guys real quick. It's awful. But the menu, all you got to do is a handwritten menu. You guys can see this. It looks like garbage. But you know what? Use your artistic license. Make a menu for whoever was doing all the cooking for Thanksgiving. It's one thing to tell them that you're thankful. It's another thing to do something and make them, pancakes, waffles, whatever you want to make. Make them breakfast and let them order off your own menu. And it's pretty fun. And if you want to get the kids involved, have the kids be waiters and waitresses. Servers, if you will. But let them go and ask that parent what they want. And play cafe in your own house. So that's my final suggestion and my final point. And I hope you guys enjoy the show. I want to give you a quick update. So my shows are now going to be Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. I'm going to try to be as close to the 7 o'clock hour as possible. I understand you guys have your own things that you have going on, so I'm going to try to do my best to make it at 7 o'clock. Next Friday, this Friday, it's in a couple days, I'm going to give you the three things I have on my agenda is number one, the political update, which will basically I'm going to look at the news. Everyone looks at the news. I look at the news all the time, probably too much. But I'm going to take the top story, my take, what it means, where things are going, if it's good, if it's bad. I'm going to give you my opinion on the top story, what I believe is the top story in the political world. We're going to talk the second thing I'm going to talk about is Facebook Marketplace. So I've been making pretty good money. I would say maybe average maybe $100 cash per day on Facebook Marketplace, just selling items. I'm talking net profit of $100 per day. I want to give you some tips and tricks of what to sell, how to make the money, the kind of things I do, and how Facebook Marketplace works. Just tell you how you can do it. And then the last problem, of course, we'll have an episode of wifey problems, which will be, every time. And wifey problems doesn't mean she's the problem. It means sometimes I'm the problem and I have to work on it, whether it be communication or everything like that. But of course, I'm going to have a list of the funniest things my wife says. She has a lot of funny sayings, and I'll give you a quick little teaser right now before we go. She always says, well, this person is pooping out of the toilet. I said, no, that doesn't make, he said, wait. And I'm thinking, and she says, yes, they can't even make it in. And so I thought that was a good one. So I'll have a list of wifey quotes and stuff that you can use. She has a new one too, and I really like it. I think I'm going to steal it from her. So I'll have some good ones, and you guys are welcome to steal those and use them in your personal lives as well. And thanks a lot, guys, for joining the show. I'm always open to suggestions. I love the suggestions you guys have given me. Some are a little bit more advanced than I'm ready for, which is like cryptocurrency and some of those other things. But I'm going to address one of the suggestions I got, which is how to work on your personal confidence. And for me, working on my personal confidence started with my spirituality and understand where I fit in God's universe. And then it just propels me from there, and it's step at a time. And we're going to talk about building your confidence from every show if I can. But it's just basically setting goals, realistic goals, doing those things one at a time, getting better at it every day. You guys saw me get better at Zumba. I was horrible at it. I couldn't even get the steps when I first started. But after a few years, and yes, it did take me a few years, I got relatively good at it, and I can kind of, do some good stuff. But it built my confidence. So I know I'm going to get my confidence in this show. I'm hoping I can help you to build your confidence in starting by ascertaining what your religion is. Figure out what you truly believe. Who is God? If you don't want to believe in God, that's fine. Well, who you are in this universe, what your role is, what your calling is, and how are you going to die with a smile on your face? Because I know I can't die with a smile on my face unless I tell you what I think. And I have to give you my opinion. I have to be honest about it. And I have to be unafraid. And that's what I'm promising to you, my viewers, my friends, my watchers, my fellow children of God. I care about each and every one of you. And I'm going to quote one of the first things I was ever taught about sales was from one of my really good friends. He was my uncle. He'll always be my uncle. And that's Dirk Chemnitz. Dirk Chemnitz told me, you know what? If you shake someone's hand, the minute you shake their hand, you tell them, I love you. In your head, I love you. The minute you look at, and you can even do it when you look at them, but if you shake their hand, and I did it, and you know what? It works. There's some kind of positive energy that comes from you to another person, and it works. And I've used it multiple times, many times. And I want us, my admonition, my thing is I want to tell everyone, do the same thing with your human beings. They're mad, they're fighting, they're trying to get you to fight on TV. Just don't listen. Just tell them, you love that person. This person has good qualities, and a lot of times they're just trying to do the right thing. You may think they're sold to the devil, but you know what? There's a place for everyone in the afterlife. There really is. And you want to make sure that you're not disconnecting yourself from anyone if you can help it. I'm sure there's toxic people, there's horrible people, and you just can't have them in your life. And you're going to have to make that determination. You got to live with that. So at the end of the day, let's all get together. I'm going to, try to make this a fun show. I'm going to try to put some perspectives on things and just have a good time. And let's all die with smiles on our faces. So thanks a lot. We'll talk to you guys Friday, 7 p.m. Pacific time for Brent's podcast, numero cuatro, number 4. So let's do it. Thank you guys very much for showing. And, any comments, supports, likes, subscribe. Make sure you share the video and ask your friends to check it out and subscribe. I'm going to be doing a contest at some point to get people to do that. But right now, I'm going to remember the people that do that. And I'm going to call you out. I'm going to try to help you as I get bigger. If I get bigger, God willing, if get more followers, you never know. But I'll always consider you the person that helped me out. So if you guys do that, I would really appreciate you sharing my video, asking people to subscribe, and just coming to the chat, the podcast. So have a good night, you guys. Happy Wednesday.
Like